Well, here's a terrible fact, but 1 in 15 children in the United States has a parent who's either incarcerated or has been incarcerated, which is vast numbers. And that's just parents. P.O.P.S is for kids who have siblings and other loved ones, friends, cousins, godparents. So you can bet your life that in every single class, in every single school, there are at least 1 or 2 or more kids who have this in their lives. And there is no other way there's no other organization that offers them an opportunity to feel like it's okay to talk about what's hard, to talk about what's going on, to feel the connection to other people who are going through this. So most of the time, and this is what I saw with my girls, was most of the time when people are walking around without P.O.P.S to go to, they feel really alone. I hear this all the time. There's one young woman I'll never forget, one of my favorite stories, because she's become an ambassador for us. She's now a speaker and a volunteer at other schools. But first day she came, a friend brought her. And this was the only friend who knew her little secret, which was that her brother was incarcerated. The brother that she adored but hadn't spoken to in 6 years because she was so angry at him for going away. And so she came into the room, and I went over and I introduced myself, and she started crying before she could say anything. And her friend said, you can tell Amy why you're here. And she said, oh, it's my brother. And she'd told this one girl, she had never talked about it with anybody. After 2 weeks, she and her brother were corresponding. The both of them have written for our anthologies. She started visiting him. She began feeling better. She talks about how all of a sudden, because she wasn't just keeping this little secret, like she'd always thought when she was around her friends and they would talk about their brothers, that she couldn't say anything because she was so ashamed and she was so jealous of them. And, she just felt so all alone. And then all of a sudden she's in this room with all these other girls and boys who, I shouldn't call them girls and boys, young men and women, who have this experience. And she feels support. And she's able to not have that little secret she's carrying around that gets in the way of doing anything else. So I would say that every school can benefit because every school has this population. Even in some cases it's small, but and I also think it affects the whole culture of the school that teachers, we have this happen at Venice a lot. Teacher will sort of poke their head in and say, oh my gosh, you know what? I didn't know so-and-so was dealing with that problem. And the empathy rises. They just understand something a little better. We have outcomes research being done by public policy department at USC on grades and attendance and visits to the dean and all of that stuff. I don't have the data yet, but I know anecdotally that it's changed lives and it's changed people's experience in school and out in the world.
Thank you for watching A Wise Way. Subscribe to stay updated, share to pass the knowledge, or view our other videos on the left.